Hello friends, welcome to my channel cardiomohua.com. I am Dr. Mohua Roy, consultant pediatric cardiologist from Kolkata, India. Today I won't discuss about any heart diseases. Today I would like to share my own experience as a COVID survivor. I would like to share my experience as a doctor and as a patient. At the end, I would like to highlight some mistakes which I have done. By avoiding those mistakes, you can avoid this deadly infection. In this video, I have to use some medical terminology. So this video might be more appropriate for doctor colleagues and other healthcare professionals. But other can also see this video and get benefited. You all know I am the consultant pediatric cardiologist working at R.N. Tagore Hospital. At the beginning of this pandemic, we were continuing our work. We are continuing our work inside cath lab. We are running our OPDs and we are taking care of pediatric patient and doing fetal echoes. But we are always using all protective gears at the time of doing our work. So there was very little chance of getting infection from hospital. What happened? I got this COVID infection from my father. My father, who is a 78 years old, known case of hypertension, diabetic and prostatomegaly. My father had fever at the end of month of July. That fever was not associated with any kind of respiratory elements like running nose, sore throat, cough, anosmia or any respiratory distress. Rather, that fever was associated with urinary tract symptoms like burning sensation and pain while urination. So, I thought that my father is suffering with urinary tract infection. My father had same kind of urinary tract infection last year also. So, I went my parents' home and I started treatment at the line of urinary tract infection. But at the end of 5th day, I realized something is grossly wrong. My father is not improving at all. So, I ordered RT-PCR for COVID and that RT-PCR for COVID turned out to be positive. Next day, I admitted my father in R.N. Tagore Hospital inside ITU under care of my husband, who is an intensivist. Now, by that time, me and my mother, who is also 75 years old, known case of diabetic hypertensive as well as COPD patient, is also been exposed. After admission, my father's CT scan had been done, which shows classical features of COVID pneumonia, and my father's other blood report was also deranged. However, in spite of having extensive involvement of COVID pneumonia in chest X-ray and CT scan, my father didn't require oxygen throughout his hospital admission. His main features was shock-like state. He had lowish BP, increasing lactate and increasing creatinine level. My father's condition was improved day by day after receiving remdesivir along with steroid and other supportive care. At the end of 11th day, my father had been discharged from hospital. When he came home, I decided to stay couple of more days so that I can take care of my father because he was discharged with insulin. Maybe steroid administration causes derangement of his blood sugar level. Then at the end of 14th day of my father's hospital admission, I did my own RT-PCR so that I can join back my duties. Being healthcare professional, I thought my negative RT-PCR report would be helpful. But it turned out to be positive. Now, if you ask me, I was totally asymptomatic or not? Basically, I was not totally asymptomatic. I didn't have any classical features like fever, sore throat, running nose, anosmia, but I was feeling very weak and exhausted, and I had episode of drenching sweating. Along with that, I was feeling chest compression or chest tightness, for which I took bronchodilator and other levocetirizine and montelukast combination. After taking those medication, I was feeling a little bit relieved. But I didn't consider those symptoms as COVID related. I was thinking due to my stress, my father is admitted in ITU, my mother is also been exposed. That's why I am stressed out, and those features are related to my stress. Now, I would like to tell you that I was on hydroxychloroquine prophylaxis for last 10 weeks. When my father's RT-PCR turned out to be positive at that point of time, I took hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, vitamin C and zinc as contact dose. And as my mother was taking antidepressant, so we are little bit skeptical about putting her on hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin regime because there is a possibility of QT prolongation. So she was received doxycycline and ivermectin along with vitamin C and zinc. Then what happened on the next day of my positive RT-PCR report, I feel little bit of respiratory distress while walking. So I went to my hospital and I did my own CT scan. My CT scan revealed features of COVID pneumonia, although it was not extensive. Then I went inside ITU and they have done my saturation, and that saturation was within normal limit. And they also did 6-minute walk test followed by 1 ABG. My ABG was also within normal limit. Then they have taken some blood sample for future investigation. And my husband, after discussing with his colleague, put me on oral steroid and subcutaneous low molecular weight heparin prophylaxis. Then they advised me to stay at home and continuously monitoring my own health condition. If the health condition deteriorates, then I must come to my hospital as early as possible. On next day, when my blood report came, it was quite surprising because my CBC CRP was mildly deranged. It was not very much deranged. My ferritin was quite high and my D-dimer was sky high. My D-dimer was 5,500. So I was already on low molecular weight heparin, and after my CT scan, I was already taking dexamethasone, oral dexamethasone. So I continued this kind of treatment for another 7 to 10 days, and day by day I improved. Now I would like to tell my experience which I have gathered from my course as well as my father's course. Number one, which is very much important, if you have got any patient of any febrile patient, take it as COVID until proof otherwise. Number two, non-respiratory symptoms of COVID is quite common. So if you are treating with a patient with other non-classical or non-respiratory symptoms, then also keep COVID as a differential diagnosis. Number three, this is a kind of appeal towards my doctor colleagues, that we are very much negligent about our own health. We are having immense tolerance. This immense tolerance is maybe due to our rigorous training at the time of our residency, but tolerating our own pain and ignoring our own health condition and continuing our job is actually killing us. Large number of doctors are dying in India, not due to comorbidity theory, and some of the doctors who have already died are even younger than me. I think the high death rate among doctors in India are due to these two factors, that is immense tolerance and ignoring our own health. But most painful thing is that your workplace will find your substitute very soon, but your family won't. So always remember, you are the cornerstone of your family. So taking care of your health is also your responsibility. See, my D-dimer was 5,500. I could have had a huge, massive thromboembolism anytime. There may be a catastrophe. So always take care of yourself. Please don't tolerate and express if you are feeling something wrong with your own health. And last but not the least, I would like to request that please take help from your colleague who all are directly taking care of COVID patient. You may be a renowned physician, you may be a gynecologist, you may be a renowned radiologist or dermatologist, but if you are not taking care of COVID patient day to day basis, then it is better that you should consult one doctor who might be a physician, a general physician, who might be an internal medicine person, a chest physician, or an intensivist. He may be junior to you, his degree may be lesser than you, but if anyone is taking care of COVID patient, adult COVID patient for last 6 months, he may know better than you. He may know when to order CT scan, how to interpret CT scan, when to give remdesivir, when to order IL-6, when to give tocilizumab, when to put the patient on a low molecular weight heparin. If steroid, then which kind of steroid is suitable, dexamethasone or methylprednisolone. So he may know better than you and me. So please take professional help. And always at the end of my video, or I always request, please call me if you want to know more. This time I will tell you I am not the right person. Please call someone or take advice from someone who is taking care of COVID patient. No one is an expert in this field. Everyone is in his or her learning phase. But if someone is taking care of patient for last 6 months, he might know better than me and you. So please take care, stay healthy, stay fit. Thank you.